Hey Flower Tribe, it's Kelly Lehman from Cranbury Fields Flower Farm, and today I want to tell you how to revive some of your plants that might not have loved the idea that you were away on vacation because they might be like half dead by now, or you might think they're totally dead, but I'm going to show you some great tips on how to hopefully revive them. So let me just get my camera all straightened out here. I hope you guys can hear me. My microphone is on the fritz today, so I'm sorry about if there's any kind of echo. But kind of working with what I got, you know, that's like one of my main things in life. You got to work with what you got sometimes. So let's do this. So if we haven't met yet, it's nice to meet you. My name is Kelly Lehman. I'm the owner of Cranbury Fields Flower Farm here in Cranbury, New Jersey. And I love giving you guys fun, free flower tips. So please feel free to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification so you know whenever I post another fun, free flower tip video. So we were on vacation and I came back, and I have to say there were a number of plants that I just didn't get a chance to put into my garden before we went away. And I thought they were going to be okay. You know, every now and then I would ask someone to water them, but this is what one of them looks like right now. And it's a bit of a disaster, but I am really confident that I can get this hydrangea to come back to life. And I want to tell you some reasons why. The first thing is that it actually looked worse like 3 days ago. The entire plant looked like this. So there was no green leaves on it whatsoever. All of these green leaves just came in. I take it back. This plant looked like this about a week ago. And these green leaves are something that, listen, they're not the healthiest leaves. I just plucked that guy off. But at least it's a good sign that the plant's not dead. These gals just came in a short while ago. But the entire plant looked like this. There was no green leaves on it when I started working on it. And as I started to revive it, I said, hey, this is a great thing to show the Flower Tribe. So here's the story, guys. If you have a plant that looks like this, the first thing that you're going to do is you're kind of going to cut into it to see if there's any green left in the stems. So here's the thing. I'm going to wind up like cutting. I want to show you what I mean by that. This branch over here looks, you know, pretty dead, doesn't look too good. But when I cut into it, I can tell that there's like a little bit of green inside that stem. So it's not totally brown. It's not brittle. There's a little bit of green. It's white. It's got some life left in it. Now, if you have a plant that is totally brown and all of the stems look more like this guy. See, this guy's kind of like hollow. It's like a hollow stem. He's totally cleaned out. If the entire plant looks like that, then there's probably a good chance it's not going to come back because there's no green left inside. There's no life left inside. So, but that's not the case with this guy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop away some of those really dead hollow stems, because bugs love to hang out there and they love to, like, you know, nestle in there, and then they're really going to start a problem in your garden. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of cut out those, you know, stems that have the holes in them, that they're a real issue. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away all the leaves that are brown and dead, because you don't want the plant to have to worry about supporting all that dead weight and having to worry about, you know, trying to revive it, trying to hydrate it. I mean, those leaves, like, they've seen better days, they're done. So let's alleviate some of the pressure from this plant by removing some of these leaves. So I'm going to come in and just clip around, clip them all away. And sometimes I could just take my hand, guys, and very gently. Sometimes it's just quicker. I do things very fast. I don't know. I know I'm not the most gentle gardener, and it's probably a lot better for the plant if you just go in there and clip. But for the sake of time, I know you guys don't want to sit here and watch me clip away each individual leaf. So let's just kind of strip some of these away fast. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start clipping each of these branches that are left over until I come to like a green center, or like at least like a white flush center or green. So this guy, I'm going to give a clip, and I'm going to keep just kind of going around the plant. And I'm just, once again, like getting rid of all that dead stuff, because I don't want the plant to have to worry about supporting it. So I'm going to get in here more. And guys, as I'm doing this, please let me know in the chat where you're from. You can just tell me like a general area. I love seeing how our flower tribe is growing around the globe each week. And you could just tell me like what country that you're in, or like what state you're watching us from, because I love that. We've had a lot of people from Australia and Hawaii the last couple weeks. So that's always like mind-blowing to me. And Iran, and we've had people from New Jersey and like all over the place, Philippines. So let's see. Let me spin this around a little bit more. And once again, I'm just getting down to like a fresh little stem here. So now my plant's looking a lot better. I got rid of a lot of those dead branches. I got rid of a lot of those dead leaves. I'm gonna continue to spin. And those hollow guys are the worst. Make sure that you get rid of those hollow guys. And now here's another really important thing, guys. So this plant, I can tell, has been underwatered. And I can tell that because all the leaves were brittle, they were falling off. But sometimes you have a plant that may be dying, and it may be because it's being overwatered. And here's the thing with plants that are overwatered and are dying. A lot of times the leaves will turn yellow. And sometimes they'll turn yellow, or they'll turn like they have like a little yellow and browning. And sometimes that is a sign that you guys are just like, giving your plant too much water. And when we see those leaves kind of shriveled up and they're yellow and they're brown, our first instinct is to say, oh, I got to take care of my plant. Let me give it a shot of water. And then what happens is you continue to overwater your overwatered plant, and then you wind up giving it root rot. And the way that you can tell if you have root rot is that you're going to lift up your plant and you're going to check out the roots. And if they're all brown and soggy, chances are they have root rot, and you need to stop watering your plant. And I'm going to make a separate video to show you how to save a plant that's suffering from root rot. You actually use a little bit of hydrogen peroxide mixed with water, and that kind of starts to aerate the roots. And I'm going to show you how to clean it out and to actually kind of aerate it and to fix that. But today's problem is that this plant was underwatered. So let's tackle this guy first, and we'll save the other one, like the root rot, for another day. But this guy right now, I know that it doesn't have root rot because a lot of these roots are white, they're firm. So the root rot ones that have too much water are going to be really like squishy. These guys are nice and firm. And I just know that my plant became root bound. And what I mean by that is that not only wasn't it watered, but the plant started growing when I was away, and it got compacted in here. So all these beautiful roots wanted to stretch out into like the ground, or they wanted to stretch out into a bigger pot, but it wasn't available. It was kind of stuck in the small pot. And then all of these roots wound up circling around the plant, and it almost built up a barrier, almost like a carpet. So now the plant can't even absorb water. So not that I was giving it water, but so it's really like it's not getting the nutrients that it needs. It's not getting the water that it needs. And on the top here also, you can see it's almost like a carpet of roots that just started circling around the plant. So this is considered to be a root-bound plant. And here's how I'm going to fix that. I'm basically just going to come in. The first thing I did was I watered it this morning. So know that this plant has been soaked. It's a little bit mushy right now. And so I'm just going to kind of very gently massage these roots. I'm kind of breaking up how they're all tied together. Let me try to get a little closer in here. I'm making a big mess. I'm actually like a super messy gardener. I know some people are super neat and they have a little tarp set up, but I am just like a disaster. So here, I'm just kind of getting in here. And I'm going to do the same thing with the top, because sometimes people just massage the sides and then they leave that carpet mess on the top. And then when they go to water it, nothing gets into the plant and it just kind of runs off the side. So I'm going to do a massage, like a light massage all around. I'm loosening up all those roots really good. And I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom. I'm going to give the bottom like a really good dig. And then sometimes people will even use like a knife. Sometimes they'll get in here with like a straight edge and they'll just like lightly kind of cut around so that they can get their fingers more into this plant and kind of break that up. And now these roots can really kind of stretch out and do their thing. So we cut off the leaves, we trim the stems, we kind of loosened up all of those roots that were root bound. And now the thing is, we need to give this gal a larger pot, because this is just not going to do it. So you can either put it in a larger pot or you can put it right in the ground. I happen to be a really crummy container gardener. Like when I grow things in pots, they don't do very well for me. So my instincts would be to try to get this gal like in the ground. Other people might say, you know what, you should probably baby it more in a pot. So I don't know, at this point, I guess I am going to baby it in a pot until it's just a little bit stronger to put in the ground. That's probably a good idea. And what I did was I filled this larger bucket with a little bit of soil, and I have some organic compost in here. I don't know if you could see, it's all kind of mixed together in like a little pie. And you want to make sure that you don't add, I know a lot of people, are thinking, oh, my plant's not feeling good. I'm going to add a ton of fertilizer and I'm going to get it kicked up. I wouldn't add fertilizer right now, especially don't add fertilizers that have a high phosphorus content, because phosphorus is going to encourage your plant to flower. And we really don't want to encourage it to flower right now. We just want to encourage it to have strong roots and to get established again and to get some really strong, healthy leaves. So that's our main intent right now. We're not worried about the flowers. So I would hold off on the fertilizers, but I would definitely add some of that organic compost, because that just makes the soil happy. And when the soil's happy, it helps the plant to absorb like a lot of nutrients, and it helps those microbes that are in the soil. So yes to organic compost, probably not so much to the fertilizers. And so I'm going to just put this plant in here. I want to make sure that when I put it in the bigger pot, I don't plant it too deep, because then you're going to have a well in there, and you're going to wind up overwatering. So I think that right now I might not have enough soil in here. So let's see what this looks like when I put it in. It's a little bit too deep. I'm going to add some more soil. But guys, another thing that I've done before is, if your plant is so dry and so root bound, you can actually take like a big bucket of water and just soak the entire plant in there for I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. I'll just drop it right in a bucket of water, and I'll just let that water kind of seep in, and I'll kind of massage it when it's in the water, because sometimes it actually feels like a piece of concrete if it's really far gone. So let me just add a little more soil. Let me get to the bottom. Let me get to the bottom of this. So put this here. Yeah, this is much better. So now, watch what a mess I make. Sheldon always comes in, he's like, what are you doing to our kitchen? And I'm always like, I know. Hold on. Circle around on all sides. And you could probably use a little more soil, but that's what I got going for now. Brush off some of my hands in here. And then I'm just going to kind of make sure it's kind of level up here. And then I'm going to add some water, and I'm going to just kind of loosen up that top carpet spot again, so that I know that the water is actually going in. And hydrangeas and like most plants, like a lot of plants, like well-drained soil. So if that water is kind of sitting on the top, you know that it's not draining very well, and you know you're going to have to do a little more work on those roots in there. So I'm going to give it a good watering. It could probably use a little bit more. And guys, just make sure that at this stage of the game, this plant is so dry, but I also want to make sure that I don't start giving it some root rot issues. So I'm going to make sure that when I come in here to take a look at this plant, tomorrow, I'm going to wind up putting this is so funny. I have soil all over my computer. I'm going to wind up putting my finger in the soil, and if it's dry, when I go down about 1 inch, I'm going to add some more water. But if I put my finger in the soil and it's wet or it's moist, I'm going to leave it alone, because the last thing this plant needs to deal with right now is root rot issues on top of being in this disastrous stage. So that's kind of the rule of thumb, and that's even the rule of thumb with the flowers in your garden. So, go out to your soil. Some people call it the knuckle rule. Sometimes people say, go down to your second knuckle. That's usually about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. And if the soil is dry, you give it a deep root watering. And if the soil is moist, then you kind of leave it alone. And it's also a really good idea when you're watering your hydrangeas not to do an overhead watering, especially at night or late afternoon, because sometimes temperatures dip. And then if there's water on those leaves and the temperatures dip, you wind up with all those lovely the brown spots on the leaves. And so that's basically caused by that. It's almost like a fungal thing setting in. But don't flip out when this starts to happen in fall, because usually around September and fall, my hydrangeas will wind up getting those brown spots. A lot of you have written in comments, what do I do? Is it a disease? For the most part, I just leave mine alone. I know that this is just part of the season. I know that, temps are starting to cool off, and sometimes it rains. I mean, there's nothing you could do. Mother Nature rains, late afternoon and night in the summer sometimes. And for the most part, if your plant still looks good and it just has a couple of those brown spots on it, I just kind of leave it alone. It's another story if your plant looks like it's got a fungal disease and it's taking over the whole plant and the plant's not blooming and it looks terrible. Then you kind of have to investigate, some of the cures for some fungal issues. But for the most part, if it's got a couple brown spots this time of year, it's all right, leave it alone. And another bit of advice I have for you guys is right now it is the middle of August. it's time to start leaving your hydrangeas alone as far as like the pruning. So a lot of next year's flowers are being put in place right now on like your endless summer and a lot of your mop heads. So it's a really good idea not to cut major branches from the hydrangea. And a lot of you have asked me, well, I want to make, hydrangea arrangements. And I am like a huge fan of hydrangea arrangements. I have them all over my house. And I actually made a couple videos for you guys showing you like how to make them, how to spray paint them. This is one that just dried out on its own. And you can cut them back. So here's the story with that. You can cut back your hydrangeas at this time of year, but cut them short. So like if you have like a hydrangea stem that's like this, well, this is from my Annabelle hydrangea. So this is okay. If you're cutting from your Annabelles or from your limelights, you can cut the stem as long as you like, because Annabelle hydrangea and limelight hydrangea all come in from fresh new stems each spring. So it doesn't matter if you cut them back this time of year, you're not going to harm next year's blooms. You can cut them as long as you want. However, if you have an endless summer or a Nico or one of those hydrangeas that come in on old wood, that's, like this year's wood, the buds are being put in place, I cut them shorter. I just make beautiful little, arrangements that have shorter stems and they still look beautiful. And then the bottom of the stem still has the opportunity to, put those buds in place for next year. So that's kind of like the idea with making a bouquet from your hydrangeas at this time of year. So the old wood guys, either just leave them alone completely or cut the stems super short so you leave a lot of the stem in place. But like the limelight hydrangeas and the Incredible and the Annabelle hydrangea, you can cut those as long as you like because, you're going to have fresh blooms next year. So let me see a couple things I wanted else to tell you guys about. I have a whole series on propagating your hydrangea. I'm not sure if you guys have checked that out yet. So this is what some of our plants are looking like that we propagated last week. I showed you guys how to make like a greenhouse. And now is a really great time to do this too, guys. If you can take a look at some of those videos, and if you can find some of your hydrangea stems, especially the ones that didn't bloom this season, they don't have blooms on them, you can kind of just, gently clip them off. And I put these guys in a little bit of vermiculite, and we put a little bit of rooting powder on the bottom of the stem, and we just kind of dug in there and we moistened this. We made some holes in the bottom of the cup and we stuck it in there. And I'm hoping within like 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to have roots on this plant, and then I'm going to wind up transplanting it in my garden later on this season, before like at least 6 weeks before the frost. But I have a couple propagation videos, and the flower tribe's been terrific because they've been adding tons and tons of their own tips on my Kelly Lehman's Flower Tribe Facebook group. If you guys haven't checked that out, please hop on over there. There's like literally thousands of people right now. I think the last time I looked, it was like 2,700 people from all over the world, and they're posting pictures of their own flowers from their own gardens, and they're asking and answering tons of garden questions there. So I kind of set up this group because a lot of people were asking questions. I couldn't get to all of them. I literally get a few hundred questions each week on Instagram and on YouTube, and I can't always get to all those questions as quickly as I like. So we set up this Facebook group page so that other gardeners can help answer each other's questions a lot quicker than I can get to them. But I still do try to get to as many comments as I can. So that's the story with this. And guys, if you're enjoying my garden tips, you're always welcome to buy me a cup of coffee. I have a supporters page. It's always in descriptions below. And also, we're on TikTok now. I mean, how fun is TikTok? I don't even know why I never went on it sooner. It's super fun. It's a great place to you just laugh and enjoy things, but it's also a great place to learn things. So TikTok is like super popular, believe it or not, for like a lot of tutorials. And it's great because like the text is there and you can read through tips like super fast. So I'm trying to put a load of flower tips on my, I think it's called Kelly Lehman's Flowers TikTok page. But all these are in descriptions below, so you can check that out. And super excited to tell you guys about, I have 3 online flower guides coming out. They're coming out towards the end of August. And one's going to teach you how to grow perennial flowers for a fresh cut flower garden. The second one's going to teach you how to grow annuals for a fresh cut flower garden. And the third guide is going to teach you how to arrange these flowers for beautiful arrangements in your own home. So you can check that out. It's not live yet, but I'll tell you what, I made a PDF free file. It's like a, oh, I'm so sorry. Eek. How did that happen? Oh no, I hope I didn't lose you guys. Eek. think I lost you guys. Hold on, I'm trying to get you back here. How did that oh, here it is. I don't even know how that happened. Somehow my phone rang and my computer shut down. So I have a free PDF file. It's in descriptions below. It's called 4 Must-Have Flowers for Your Garden. And if you grab that free PDF file and you put in your email to snag it, then you will be on my newsletter mailing list, and we are sending out almost like a pre-order form. So like if you would like to get my course early, we're going to do like discounts for like the first 100 people. But right now we're just kind of like getting everything together. So you can't buy it just yet. But I think maybe starting tomorrow, you might be able to start seeing more like what the pricing is. It's going to be like $9.95 for each guide. And there's 3 of them. And if you buy the bundle, I think it's like $24. And then if you order them, like if you're one of the first 100 people that order them, then you get even more of a discount. So I don't know, we're trying to come up with some great incentives to get you guys these guides in your hands so you can grow beautiful fresh cut flowers in your own garden. So that's coming out soon. I'm so excited about that. And I guess that's it for today, guys. So I don't know why, but I blew the chat again. I don't know why. Sometimes I don't see my live chat, so I would have loved to chat with you guys, but I blew it. I'm just being a dimwit. I don't know why the chat's not showing on my screen. But please leave me comments below some of your questions. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, and let me know more topics that you would like to learn about, because I love giving you guys as much of my flower knowledge as I possibly can, because I know it's really hard learning all this stuff online and through the internet. There's so much information out there. I want to make these like quick, easy, simple tips. So I'm hoping that this plant's going to come back within the next few weeks, and I'm going to keep you guys posted. So know that I go live every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. I will keep you posted on what's going on with this plant, and I'm going to tell you guys how to fix your plants that have those really yellow leaves if your plant roots have that root rot. Maybe I'll tackle that one next Thursday, because I know that's a really big issue, and that happens to a lot of people. It happens to me, and I'm going to show you how I fix that. So I'll see you guys over on Instagram and TikTok, and please leave me comments. And if you enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up. That helps me. And have a great day, Flower Tribe. I'll see you in the next video. I got to go clean up this big fat mess. Eek.